The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Welcome to today's Platinum webinar with your host, Todd Walters.
Thank you, Andrea. Welcome, everyone. Hope everybody's doing fantastic. Business is going strong. We're going to spend our time today talking about one of our marketing systems. Now, as you know, let me just break it down again for everyone as we get settled here. The first week of the month, you get me, and many times me and Craig Proctor with a very special webinar talking about the rainmaking activities, really the only things you should be doing day in and day out to grow your real estate business. So that happens around the first week of every month. The second week of the month, actually the second Tuesday of every month, you get me training your team. Anybody on your team responsible for calling back the leads, converting leads into appointments. We do advanced lead conversion here on this Platinum Lead Conversion webinar, second Tuesday of every month. The third Tuesday of every month, I do my best to find a really good member, a member who's kicking butt with our business plan and system here, and interview them and show you what's working, what's not working, talk about those things, drill down, be specific with them. You get to ask questions of them, and those are always great. I mean, success leaves clues. Who better to study than your fellow members of our program that are just killing it, crushing it with the system, making a lot of money, and creating a lot of raving fans. Again, the Tuesday of every month. The fourth Tuesday of the month is I pick out one of our systems, maybe operational, maybe marketing, and really drill down on that and show you all the I's dotted, T's crossed, things that are supposed to be done a certain way, and try to bring really to you the franchise prototype of this one particular system. I call it the control. So today is no different. Okay, so today is no different. Here we are. And we're going to deal specifically with direct mail to seller prospects, expired listings for sale by owners, and old expireds. And we're going to talk about this. Now, if you're in Canada or even some places around the United States, direct mail is tough to quote expired listings because most of them come from the MLS. So you have signed off on or agreed to some kind of rules of engagement where you would not use the MLS to solicit people who previously had their home on the market for sale. I don't know about all that, but I do know for the majority of Platinum members, you can absolutely direct mail expired listings for sale by owners. But I want to talk about that really fast because this can be a problem. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you do it. All right? All right, so let's be really clear on that. This sounds like a really good system, but is it? Okay, now for me, I made hundreds of thousands of dollars a year off of what I'm going to show you today. Okay, but understand there's a very specific way to do it, and I spent a lot of time and money testing against whatever the control was to make sure that whatever is being put out there by mail was as good as I could get it based on what I knew. Okay, so let's make sure you base everything you do on return on investment. Okay, so if you spend $1, how much money are you making on that? Many of you watching today's webinar get drunk on leads. They get drunk on leads, and you'll spend money, and you're obsessed with cost per lead. You know, I'm driving down my cost per lead. I've got it down to $8 a lead. I've got it down to $5 a lead. Well, you know what? That don't mean anything to me. It's all about how much money you spend, how much money you make. Okay? I'm okay with investing $500 on an editorial ad and getting 4 leads if I made $10,000 commission. You know, one of the leads turned into a sale. Spent $500 and made $10,000. How can I expand that? All right? So that's how you look at things. So direct mail is no different. But I want you to understand that we live by this rule of if you can't measure it, you don't do it. So everything you're going to see today is fully measurable. So I'm going to walk you through step by step direct mail system, the platinum level direct mail to expired listings for sale by owners, other seller prospects. And we'll drill down and get specific on that. So you're going to want to pay close attention. Okay, this is a how-to video. It's going to be recorded and it'll be put on the coaching site so everyone can get it right. But again, this is the control. Okay, so once you copy and implement what I'm going to show you today, Now your job is to test against it so that we make it better and improve, and you work with your coach on that. But we must have a control. So that's what this is. This is a control. This is exactly what you should do. This is where you should start, and then you test against it. Okay? So, again, we can deal with that on separate webinars and the coaching with your coach on how to test against things. Okay? All right. So let's start with the activity itself. Okay, so on your screen, I've got a copy of the Platinum Millionaire Agent Maker Business Plan. This is the business plan, okay, that you use in growing and expanding your real estate business. Again, there's only plan and there's only system. And then we coach you on implementing the plan and systems. That's it, okay? So we don't coach you on doing other things. We coach you on implementing the plan and system, okay? And the reason that's important is because none of the systems and plans when it comes to marketing work without the coaching, because you're only as good as what you know. Then again, how do you know it's as good as it can be? How do you know you're squeezing all the business you can out of that one thing? And that's where testing against something comes into play. And we do this by message to market match, specifically message to media to market match. Okay, so what you're doing in Newmarket, Ontario might look and say things differently than what you're doing in Carlsbad, California. Okay, so that's why the coaching matters. You can't just copy an ad, run it, and expect that you're going to hit a grand slam with it. That happens, but it's still, is it as good as it can be? So that's my disclaimers on all of this. Okay, but what you're going to see, I made a lot of money with right here in North Metro Atlanta, and still doing it. Okay, so let's take a look at the actual activity, okay, in the business plan. So I'm going to scroll down. This is going to be on one of our pages here, so hang on one second. Let me get to that, and I'll show it to you guys and give you some specifics on it. All right, sweet. Here it is. Here's the follow-up. It's going to be on page. There it is, letter. Okay. Now let me open this back up and show it to you. I just want to show you how to scroll and stuff. Okay. Okay, so here in section 5 in the Platinum Millionaire Agent Maker Business Plan. Pages numbers will change over time because we take stuff away, we add stuff to it, depending on what's going on at that moment in history. Okay, so I'm going to scroll down here to letter J. Okay, letter J, direct mail to expired FSBOs. Okay, and you can see there's some information on it right there. Okay, so this is just reference point number 1. Okay, again, this is on page 34 today of this recording. Okay, this moment in history. Section 5 will most likely never change. Okay, section 5, just so you know, it's the Platinum Lead Generation Systems in the Platinum Millionaire Agent Maker Business Plan. Okay, and it's letter J, direct mail to expireds and FSBOs. Okay, all right, so let me show you one other thing. All of you have been giving a Platinum Strategic Business Plan and checklist for team leader the first 6 months. This is on the first 6 months checklist. Okay, all right, and you can see it's right here at the end of the first month, the first 4 weeks. Implement the expired FSBO direct mail system. And I reference it, section 5. Okay, and you can see it says letter I here, so the business plan has already changed a little bit. Page 34. Okay, but it gets us in the general direction. Okay, so the 6-month checklist is not quite updated with the business plan. That's because we're adding stuff to it on a regular basis, depending on what's working and what's not working on the marketing side of things. All right, so anyway, but it's on the checklist. Okay, now let's go to the coaching segment. Okay, here we are in the library, file library. Okay, and Platinum expired FSBO seller prospect direct mail library. So that's where I want everybody to go. If you're in front of your computer, you can follow along on the webinar as you watch these things. It would be a good idea for you to be engaged in this as well. Okay, so I just refreshed my computer. Platinum Expired FSBO Seller Prospect Direct Mail. Specifically, ID number 813. This is a checklist. Okay? Summary, checklist for running this marketing system. Okay? So I'm going to download that. I probably already had it open, but I'll open it again. Okay, so let me find it. There it is. It's getting open. In 1 second. And let me fix that real fast for us, and we'll get it opened. I've noticed that when I'm streaming through GoToWebinar, Andrea, and I want to open up another document of some kind of weird glitch happens, and it doesn't want to open it up the first time. I always have to do it again. So anyway, here it is. I'm going to turn it into one-page view. So let's do that. I'll blow it up so we can all see it really good. Okay, and there it is. Direct mail to expired FSBOs. Okay, copy and paste for section 5 from the business plan. And here it is. Checklist. All right, so now that we've referenced all of the 3 different places where it's on the first 30 days of becoming a Platinum Program member. It's in the business plan as one of our top picks for getting listings. Okay, it has its own library in the on the coaching site. It's so good. Okay, and now we're going to walk through exactly what this is and how it looks. Okay, so let's get a couple of things out of the way first before we actually look at the materials, and I drill down on this for you. Okay, the first one is who you're mailing to. Okay, and how. So there are companies that exist today at this moment in history like RedX and Vulcan 7 that will deliver to you on a daily basis expired listings from your MLS. Okay? They'll deliver to you FSBOs that they scrape from various sources in your marketplace. They will deliver them to you and scrub them against the relisted properties in your MLS. Okay, that again, that's RedX and Vulcan 7 are 2, just to name a couple. There's actually more, but I'm just throwing them out there. So if you don't want to have an administrative person doing it, you can hire a company to do it for you. But back in the day, I hired a person, this is what they did. They would pull up seller prospects that we would find. They would scrub them against the hot sheets, homes that have been relisted. You know, and that told us whether we would continue mailing to them or not. Okay? Now, we didn't just mail to new expireds, we mailed to old ones. So here's how it's, listen really close. Okay? There's brand new, somebody that expired today, and there's somebody that expired today 6 months ago, which means that we're mailing to them right away, and we're hitting them again within 6 months. The activity plan is a 30-day activity plan. The control is a 30-day activity plan. That doesn't mean that, you know, I was talking to Nathan Clark not too long ago. He was in my office, and we were working on his system, and we tested against the control over the last 3 years with Nathan, and he's found some ways to generate even more response for him, but I've done the same thing with others, and it didn't change. So this remained the control, what I'm showing you. Okay, but with your coach, you may be able to improve response rates. All right. So we pull up the expired listing today. We pull up the for sale by owner today. We pull up the expired listing from 6 months ago today. Okay, and we launch our activity plan. And the activity plan is that they're going to get our mailing over the next 30 days about 5 times. Okay, so that's once every 5 or 6 days. They're going to get something in their mailbox from you. Okay, everybody get that? All right, they're going to get an envelope. And the envelope's going to be goodies. We're going to look at what all these goodies are. But that's the frequency. Okay? Brand new expired. Going to get something every 5 or 6 days for the next month. 5 mailings. 5 mailings we're going to look at. That's it. Okay? Can you send 7? Can you send postcards too? The answer is yes, yes, and yes. But let's focus on the control, the thing that you should start doing, and then we can test against it with other variables and stuff. And again, we work on these at our Platinum Business Building boot camps as well. So even though I'm showing you the control, at the boot camp I have you for a whole day. So I get to show you all of the control items, how to test against the control, other things you can do, postcards you can supplement and add to the sequence, and all kinds of ways to improve response. changes in messaging and things that I just can't do in a webinar. This is why you must be at the live events. Okay, good. So I'm moving slow, so you're going to have to be patient with me. I'm only going to take about an hour of your time. Okay, by the time 5 o'clock rolls around, based on this this webinar we're doing today, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm going to be done. We're going to be done with this. Okay, and you'll be off trying to get this implemented if you don't have it yet. Okay, so expired listing, expired today. I got them. Okay, also pulled up the expired listings from 6 months ago, and I've got a brand new for sale by owner that was delivered to me. I'm going to launch this activity plan. Tomorrow, I'm going to make sure these people weren't relisted, and they're going to continue to stay in the sequence and get the mailings. If at any time they relist their home or release their home with somebody else or me, we pull them off of this marketing plan. We don't want to continue to market to people that are active either with me or from somebody else. Okay? Goes without saying. All right. So let's look at the checklist. Checklist is, okay, first box, 4-page sales letter with all 6 critical ingredients of a unique selling proposition, printed on 11 by 17 paper, front and back, folded one time. Okay? And we're going to look at ID 1335 for now in the coaching site. Again, we'll look at these materials in a minute. Let's just look at all the stuff that's included. A USP business card. Okay? The USP branded Post-it note. Several examples there. We're going to look at them all. A Dan Kennedy flyer, printed front and back. We'll take a look at that. Okay? And the envelope, how it gets delivered. Okay, you ready? All right, so a couple of things that I would do. Check out this note here. If you are direct mailing to expireds and FSBO, you should also run the matching the editorial ads. Okay, in other words, we didn't just direct mail to the expired listings. Part of what I learned from Craig Proctor in the coaching program before Craig and I started working on direct response marketing via direct mail is we ran the editorial ad for expired listings and for sale by owners. Okay, as more expired listings have materialized in my marketplace, we ran the editorial ad for expired listings everywhere, across town in all local publications. There was rarely a month that went by over 15-year out actively selling homes once I got this editorial ad from Craig. There rarely was a month that went by that we didn't run the FSBO editorial ad, how to sell your home without an agent, save the commission. Okay, so those editorial ads run in conjunction with the direct mail. Everybody understand? Okay, so just want to make sure everybody knows it. We learned that in a coaching program, and I fully expect you guys are continuing to do that here at this upper level advanced echelon of the Millionaire Agent franchise prototype. Okay, you good? All right, now let's go back to the coaching site, and let's take a look. So now that we looked at the summary, and I've got it, I'm going to keep it handy. Now let's look at what they get in the mail. Okay, so let's make sure we stay on track here. I've told you who to target. New expired, 6-month-old expired, for sale by owner. Okay, I told you how to find them. Either you find them on your own, your assistant does, scrub against the hot sheets every day, or a company can have them delivered to you on a regular basis, Redx, Vulcan 7 as a couple of examples. Okay, now it requires what do we send them? Okay, and we're going to look at that right now, but we also need to know how often they get it. Okay, and again, it's a 30-day marketing plan. They get 1 mailing from you every 5 or 6 days. 5 mailings takes about a month. Good? All right. So what did I get? Okay, well, let's start with the 4-page sales letter that's listed on the summary. 4-page sales letter with all 6 ingredients. Let's take a look at that, okay? And ID 1335 right here says good mailing example. Everybody see that? So I'm going to try to download that. Hopefully, it's a PDF, so it should come up. All right, here we go. Okay, it's got Mark Gastineau's picture on it. Okay, hey Mark, how you doing? Good news about your home. Your home sold at your price, or I'll buy it. Okay, so this is the performance guarantee that we've established works better than any of the other performance guarantees when targeting expired listings in FSBO. So this is the control. does this mean that you have to use the guaranteed sale program here on this 4-page sales letter? And the answer is no, of course not. But you must use a performance guarantee, risk reversal. Remember, there are 6 ingredients that are covered here in this sales letter. Ready? Here's all 6. Number 1, you got the buyers. Number 2, you sell homes for more money. Number 3, you sell them faster. Number 4, they're more likely to sell. Number 5, third-party endorsement. And number 6, risk reversal. All 6 ingredients must be covered. Okay? Is your home sold, guaranteed, or I'll buy it better than your home sold at your price or I'll pay the difference? And the answer is, I don't know for you. Which one's better? I would have to test against it. Okay, the majority of our members have discovered that your home sold at your price or I'll buy it for cash is better. Okay, now, do we offer free reports in this direct mail? And the answer is no. And the reason is we already have the lead. If you already have the lead, you don't need to go about regenerating the lead. Does that make sense? When you pull expired listings or they're given to you, you already have the lead. Just make sure you have the lead. All right? It's just like if you generated a lead from your home evaluation postcard. Find out what your home is worth online, and all of a sudden you have a lead that filled out the form on your website. You have the lead. Expired listing is given to you or you filed, you have the lead. Everybody get that? Okay. So it's when we're clear on that. All right? So we don't need to regenerate the lead from a less branded message or form. We already have them. We're just trying to get them to call us, okay? So we're not spending our time telemarketing people. Plus, you don't have phone numbers for many of these guys if you wanted to call them. Okay, so let's shrink this 4-page sales letter down real fast. Okay, well, page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4. So I'm just giving all 4 of them to you. Now, a couple of things that I would recommend, and I'm going to use a drawing tool. Okay. Good news about your home should not be the headline, okay? So that should be smaller, and the USP should be a little bigger. Okay, so my recommendation is to blow that bad boy up as much as you can, okay, to fill in this space. Okay, so let me erase my drawings here. Erase drawings, normal drawing mode. Let's go back to the larger page. Okay. So, your home sold at your price, guaranteed, or I'll buy it for cash. No, this is a 4-page sales letter printed on 1 piece of paper. Okay, printed on 11 by 17 paper, front and back. And when you fold it, you have 4 8.5 by 11 pages. 1 sales letter. Okay, no staples. No staples. Okay, good. All right, so this is good mailing example. Cool. We basically identify a problem and we offer our solution. Okay. Now, here's a problem with Mark's mailing. Okay, is here he says your home sold at your price or I'll buy it. Down here he says 60 days. So which one is it? Days or no days? Okay, so there's a mistake in my opinion. That diminishes response, creates uncertainty. It's not clear. Okay, so no days. We guarantee in writing that you're a wholesaler at your price or we'll buy it. No gimmicks. It's all in writing. So if you're going to mention days here, mention days here. Okay, my recommendation is no days. So why am I showing you this? So that I can point out to you these things, and we can have coaching moments and teaching moments, things like that. So don't have days here and not there. All right, good. All right. I've copied and pasted a screenshot of our buyers in waiting database as proof. Okay. These are buyers that we have in our database looking for a home. There you go. Now you'll notice that Mark has strategically used doodles in this 4-page sales letter. It's on white paper with black Courier font ink for a reason, because that is the control. Okay, so there's page 1. Let's look at page 2. Page 2, we present our statistical USPs. But again, he has on page 1 the guarantee. Okay, On page 2, same thing. On page 2, statistical USPs. We sell your home for more money. Your home is just more likely to sell, and we sell it faster. So he's using real-life stats, statistics, to basically create doubt, cast doubt amongst your competition, and prove that you do a superior job over and above other agents. These numbers are from the MLS and are 100% accurate. Call me to discuss the sale of your home. Thanks, Mark. It's good. We'll read what's down the side. Page number 3. Don't take my word for it. Other people say that it's so. Third-party endorsement. Okay, now, listen really close. Pay very close attention. On your testimonials, they must tell the story of an expired listing. I had my home on the market for over a year with 2 other real estate agents, and nothing happened. I kept getting these things in the mail from Mark that said that he would sell my home, and if he didn't sell it, he would buy it. So I called him, and boy, am I glad I did. You know, he listed our house, and in 17 days, he had an offer for over 100% of our asking price. Okay, so you want your testimonials to be basically telling the story of an expired listing or a for sale by owner. Very important that you do that. Okay, these expired listings here from Mark are pretty good, but they could even be better based on what I just told you. You selling a house is not the entire story. It's how fast you sold it and for what price. Okay, how close to the asking price, and what is the background of your testimonial. Okay, I tried selling my house for 6 months. All I got were lowball offers. Okay, I kept getting things in the mail from Mark, said he'd buy my home if it did sell. Okay, and that sort of thing. I was just about to put my home on the market and sell it myself, but you know, I saw this ad from Mark Gassner that said he'd buy my home if it didn't sell. Boy, am I glad I called him. He got me in 12 days. We had our home under contract for 98.7% of my asking price. So those kinds of testimonials. Everybody good there? Let me shrink this down just a little bit, get it all on one page, and or at least come pretty close to it. Let's see there. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, page 3. Okay, now let's look at page 4. Notice on every page the USP is there. Okay, or at least I should say the performance guarantee, as well as call to action. Should not be a single page on here that does not have your performance guarantee and a call to action. That's on every page on this sales letter. Okay, page 4 is proof that you're the agent with the buyers. Proof that you're the agent with the buyers. One more time, proof that you're the agent with the buyers. So now when you look at all 4 pages of this 4-page sales letter, again, no staples, okay, all 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper, okay, printed on 11 by 17 page. So when you fold it one time, you get 4 8.5 by 11. It's like a booklet, right? Okay, newsletter. Doodles, courier font, okay, your performance guarantee and call to action on every page. Okay, this is the control. This is what the majority of members use, okay, copy, and they get the best response from. Can it be better? And the answer is, I would think so. Everything could be better. Okay, but how much better? I don't know. Is it worth the amount of money that it costs to make it better? I don't know. How do you make it better? And the answer is you test against it, and we talked about that. Okay, but this is the control, but this is not everything that gets mailed. This 4-page sales letter is going to be mailed in every envelope. It will be included in every envelope. That is the control. Okay, what you do is you add stuff to the envelope. Okay, let's go back to our summary and see what's next. Okay, USP business card, ID 812. Okay, well, let's check it out. Let's go to ID 812, USP seller business card. And let's open that up. Let's see what that looks like. We have Jonathan. Hey, Jonathan. So we'll use Jonathan's card as a control. It's pretty good. This is a seller USP business card. On the front side, you have your performance guarantee, your number one USP, your brand. In this case, Jonathan's brand is your home sold or I'll buy it. And on the back of the card, he squeezes in more ingredients from his unique selling proposition of why I should list my home with Jonathan over and above anybody else, which is I got buyers for your house. Like I got a database of buyers. So that's the card, front and back. So that would be the control. Everybody see that? Okay. That goes into every envelope. So let's think about that now. 4-page sales letter in every envelope. This business card in every envelope. At the end of a month, the seller has received five of these business cards. It's really going to be hard to ignore. Okay. Yes, they may have been throwing them all away, but on the fourth mailing, they decided not to. Maybe they kept 2 or 3 of the cards. They get spread out around the house or at the office. That's what you want here, is we want to encourage separation of materials. They may throw everything in the envelope away and keep the business card. Okay? All right? You can see the business card makes the free report offer, which is good, because some of these folks are not going to be ready to do anything right now in terms of calling me directly, so they'll go and they'll get the report. Okay, so now let's go back and let's look at what else is included in the envelope, okay? On mailings number 2, 3, 4, and 5, we're going to add a Post-it note to page 1 of the 4-page sales letter. On page 1, on mailings 2, 3, 4, and 5, we're going to add a Post-it note to let them know that, hey, this is the second time I've tried to reach you. This is the third time. This is my 4th time. This is my fifth time trying to get your attention. So what do these Post-it notes look like? Well, let's take a look. We have some examples. Branded Post-it note examples, color. Sticky note examples, mailings 2 through 5. Branded Post-it note example, large. Like I got 3 different things on here. So let's take a look at one of these. Here we go. Here's some branded Post-it notes. I just think you go with Post-it note color, like sticky note, okay? And the brand is basically your business card at the bottom of it. Your home sold or I'll buy it, okay? And your information. Remember, your USP is at the top and your contact information below it on your brand. I'm looking at Antoine's here, and he doesn't have it that way. Antoine decided that he was going to make his guaranteed sell program offer. Check it out. Okay, so he's got his performance guarantee at the bottom here. Your home sold or I'll buy it. Okay, when it should be here. Okay, and then his contact information below it. That's a branded Post-it note. Okay, and then handwritten on the Post-it note or printed in handwritten font. Okay, this does not really look like a handwritten font to me. It's more computer generated. Try to get as handwritten as you can here. Okay, and then you want to follow my lead on what they should say. So what should the Post-it note say for those of you that don't read French? Let's take a look. Okay. Sticky note examples, mailings 2 through 5. Check them out. Okay. Open it up. There they are. Enable editing. It's my 2nd attempt to reach you. I deal with buyers, a lot of them. It's my 3rd attempt to get your attention to discuss the sale of your home. Thought I'd write you again. I deal with buyers, a lot of them. Shot to reach you about your home. Thought you would like reading this letter from a former neighbor. That's obviously number 5. Okay, so there you go. Mailings 2 through 5. 2, 3, 4, okay, 5, and we've got a bonus one in there for you. You just want to draw attention that you've tried repeatedly to get them. All right, so all of these messages work on a Post-it note. The control is a Post-it note reminding them you're following up again. Okay, everybody get that? Good. Okay, so let's minimize that. Okay, and let's keep going. What else changes? Well, we're going to throw in a Dan Kennedy flyer. We're going to insert into this newsletter a Dan Kennedy flyer. So why don't you do it this way? Mailing 2, 3, 4, 5, insert a Dan Kennedy flyer. What do these Dan Kennedy flyers look like? I've got them all here for you. Ready? Check it out. Former neighbor letter for 5th mailer. See that? Lottery ticket enclosure for 2nd mailing. Writing, warning, and shocking fact enclosure for 3rd mailing. Who hires us for the 4th mailing. So they're pretty easy here not to screw up. And a bonus enclosure for 5th mailing. Who writes the ad that will sell your home. Okay, now let's take a look at one of these. Let me show you an example. Lottery ticket. Okay, let's go to for 2nd mailing. Okay, I'm going to turn this bad boy on here. Check this out. Oh, come on, open up. All right, let's try it again. Where's the lottery ticket? Okay, don't let these go out the door without something on the back. Okay, and I'm having a hard time getting it to download, so let me try one more. There we go. Okay, here we go. I'm opening this up. Here's one of the enclosures. Who hires us? Here's who hires us. Okay, now on the back of this Dan Kennedy flyer, okay, let's go back to the coaching site. Check it out. Back of DK mailing. Don't let something go out your door. These Dan Kennedy inserts. Don't let something go out the door, these Dan Kennedy inserts, without something on the back. Use both sides of the page. Okay? So back of Dan Kennedy mailing, let's see if I can, yeah, it's a PDF, so that'll open up just fine. Here we go. Let me shrink it down. There it is. That's the back. Okay? So these are not necessarily testimonials. They look like it, but they're actually facts. Okay? So these are just facts. Okay, so Carol and her team here, Tim, basically just stated facts. Hey, 324 East Sagebird Street was on the market with another agent. Okay, and Carol came in and did this. Everybody see that? It's just facts. They're not testimonials. And then they pepper it with some pictures of people that they've got here, which is fine. If you've got that, you can add it. But this is the back of your Dan Kennedy flyers that are the inserts. Okay, so let's go back. Let's go back to our summary. Everybody doing pretty well? Okay, so let's stop for a moment and let's catch up on where we are. We have 4-page sales letter. No staples, printed on one piece of paper. We looked at that. We have your business card that gets inserted in every envelope. We looked at that. We looked at these Dan Kennedy flyers for mailing number 2, 3, 4, 5, and the front and what should be on the back of all of them. Which means, yes, the back of all the Dan Kennedy flyers will be the same. Okay? And we looked at a handwritten note, a Post-it note that's branded. Now, why should your Post-it note be branded? So they can peel it off and stick it somewhere, and it has your unique selling proposition on it in case everything else gets thrown away. Remember, we want to encourage separation of your material, so no matter what gets separated, whatever they're acting on, it all has your unique selling proposition and call to action on it. Great. Okay. So we're really good on this. Everybody's good. Okay. Now, let's talk specifically about the envelope and the color of these inserts. Here's what I would like for you to do. I would like for you to use light-colored envelopes, which means you're going to have 5 of these light-colored envelopes, okay? And the Dan Kennedy flyers are going to be printed on paper that's light-colored that matches the color of the envelope. A couple of reasons for this. Number one, colors will have some reaction, okay, and generate some response and some thought to your prospect. Think about it. They open up the light green envelope. They pull out your 4-page sales letter, and inside of it is a light green piece of paper, your Dan Kennedy flyer, that matches with the color of the envelope. Okay, everybody get that? So there's some work going on. We tested this out, and we just found that it gets a higher response rate than just everything being on white pieces of paper. The different colored envelopes will give some variation, stimulation to the brain of your prospects that you're trying to get to pay attention to your materials. Okay? And of course, I mentioned that again on the checklist. All right, so let's go back to the coaching site and check this out. I gave you an example of a branded envelope. Okay, now listen really close. Some of you guys aren't paying attention, I can tell. And that's okay as long as you go back and pay attention. All right? This is the envelope example of a branded envelope. Branded up. Should you use a branded envelope? And the answer is, I don't know. Okay? But this is the control. And some of you are saying, well, if we hit them with our brand, will they even open the envelope? And I'm like, well, look at the envelope. It says right here, updated list of buyers for your home inside. Okay? But I also want you to test against it with a less branded envelope. In other words, just a plain light color envelope that has your stamp and their address on it. Let them open it and pull your stuff out. Hey, incidentally, when you're folding your materials, make sure that when they open the envelope, they see this. Imagine opening the envelope, okay? And this is what I see peeking above in the envelope. This would be about folded in half, right? This is what I see. Okay? So make sure you fold it strategically so that they see what you want them to. But what does the envelope look like? Again, light colors. You've got 5 different colored envelopes, light colors. Okay? And this is an example of front and back of the branded envelope. Okay? Your return label. Okay, many of you, I'm looking right now on my desk. I've got stuff from you, from some of you. And I'm looking at your return labels, and nowhere on your return labels is your USP. Like, I can't find a single platinum member that has put their USP in their return label. Sorry, except for one, Dion Irwin. So Dion here, I have an envelope with her USP in her return label. Great job, Dion. Okay? Your home sold or I'll buy it. Phone number, web address, company name, return label. Okay? What's inside? An updated list of buyers for your home. Should be done in a handwritten font or stamped on the envelope or handwritten on the envelope. Okay? Okay? On the back of the envelope, this right here you will notice this is from the ad generator. Okay? Your picture. Okay, let's make sure everybody understands here, so don't get a little pin drawn. You got your picture, okay, and you have your name. This one's just missing the photo. See, it says your photo right there. So your photo, okay, and your name and stuff, and of course this is right from the ad generator on the back of the envelope. Everybody get that? The USP ad generator on the coaching site. That's the branded envelope. Okay. Now let's go back and let's tie all this together. Okay, if you have questions, get them ready. Go ahead and type them in. Raise your hand. We'll take a couple of questions here, Andrea, and we'll handle that here in a moment. Okay, all right, but let's go back to the checklist. All right, so we've got 4-page sales letter. All 6 ingredients included in this sales letter, and I gave you an example. Okay. Printed on 11 by 17 sheet of paper, folded once, so it looks like a newsletter format or whatever you want to call it. So 4 pages, 8.5 by 11, no staples. Right? Your USP business card, okay, with seller offer on it, give you a good example there. The USP branded post-it note, okay, that will remind them that we're trying them again. And the post-it note needs to be branded in case it gets peeled off and stuck on, say, their computer monitor or their desk or their refrigerator. Has your USP on it, your brand, phone number, right? Okay. Dan Kennedy flyers, and I give you my top picks for those, for these mailings. Okay. Printed on colored paper, light colored paper that matches the color of the envelope, and there's a front and a back printed. and I show you what should be on the back of all the Dan Kennedy mailings. Okay? And of course, the envelope. Branded, less branded. Okay? Maybe mix them up. The answer is these are things that you've got to test and try. But I've shown you now the control. All right, now that we've looked at this, let me say a couple of other words on it I think that are important. Some of you will try to cut corners on this. It's just only natural. Okay? Don't do that. Go all in or don't do it at all. Don't do it halfway and then call and say, well, you know, I tried that, didn't work. You're lying to yourself. You have to use the control first. This is the control. And then we'll test against it, scale back, add more, add in the just sold cards, postcards as supplemental, whatever. We'll know what to do. But if you're not using the control, the coach can't help you. Okay, we have to start with the control. Okay, everybody get that? And you're mailing to new expireds, 6-month-old expired, and of course for sale by owners. That's a pretty good bit of people to direct mail to. And if you're following our system, then you're also running the editorial ads for expireds and for sale by owners. Okay, so that, my friends, is the system. Now the direct mail is a big deal because you're going to be falling into heavy competition here with other real estate agents. So the only way you're going to beat them is just with superior marketing. And I think what you have been exposed to today is superior. Okay, now let me add one more note on that for historical reasons. What you're looking at today is the control until the control changes. We have hundreds of Platinum Program members, and many of them are doing this system that I've showed you today, but there are also others who are testing against it. And over time, I can guarantee you that we will discover a better way or something that will become the control. There will be enough people making money from that, on whatever variation it is here, okay, that it will become the control. So many people think that they can jump into this program, pay us a little bit of money, take all this stuff, quit, and go and use it forever, and it doesn't change. It will continue to always work. And they feel like, aha, I've got away with something. And the answer is you've gotten away with nothing. You're going to go out of business doing business that way. It's a franchise. And the marketing will always change. Message to market match, how it's delivered, who it gets delivered to, how frequently it gets delivered to, those kinds of things will change. Those of you that have been in this program for 10 years know that what you've looked at today for direct mail for sale by owners and expireds is not the same as you saw it 10 years ago. Okay? And that's because of competition culture and a lot of testing that goes into it. So it's an ongoing, moving marketing system. But today, this is the control. Right? And when the control changes, I'll do another webinar. This is my third over the course of 11 years as Platinum Coach at this moment in history. 11 years, almost 12. This is the third one of these I've done, each with a different control. Okay, fantastic. Now, I think you guys may have some questions. So I'm going to bring Andrea on. And Andrea, let's see what we got here. Make sure we've got everything covered before we wrap it up.
Okay, we have a couple of hands raised. We have Alan Kroll. Your mic is now open. You're muted on your end. Just hit the red mic button. Okay. Alan, I'm going to release your hand. Go ahead and push it again if you'd like to try again. Vic McCarrion, you're next. Your line is open.
Yeah, hi Todd, how are you?
Hey Vic.
Todd, I have a question, please, regarding that expired editorial ad. Have you guys tried it to put it in that 11 by 17 page instead of putting it in the newspaper? Or
Yeah, remember I mentioned that to you in the beginning. You already have the lead.
Yeah.
When you have expired listings, in other words, when RedX or Vulcan 7 send you the expired listings for that day, you have the lead, do you not?
That's right.
Okay. So now what are you going to do with it? In this case, you don't have a phone number, so you're going to direct mail them. And I know what you're saying. Can you run the editorial ad to get a phone number? I'm saying, yes, but I would run the editorial ad in a place where they're likely to give me their phone number, okay, which is in the newspaper where those work the best. We have not been able to get editorial ads to work in other places outside of offline print media. In direct mail, we just haven't been able to be able to make that work here. Of course, it's been tested.
Okay, and thank you. Regarding the USB on the sticky note, can we have like printed USB on the sticky note and have a handwritten below it? Is that what you recommend?
Yeah. So if we look at the Post-it notes, I think I showed you one. Let's look at another example here. All right, here we go. This is my second attempt to reach you to discuss the sale of your home. Call me at this number. Thanks, Nathan. And then at the Post-it note, there's his brand.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. So
that's 369%. Let me get this down to Post-it note size. You see that now?
Okay, it makes sense. Okay. So should we put the USB on the top or bottom? Or I thought you said try it on the top maybe, or it doesn't make a difference.
Well, I think what you're looking at right here would be a typical branded Post-it note.
Okay.
And just so you'll know, this looks like handwritten, but what Nathan did is he wrote it out and it had the printer reproduce them in mass.
Okay.
So it's basically a screenshot or a copy that gets printed in mass on the Post-it note. So he has a whole box of Post-it notes that are, for the second mailing, Post-it notes for the third mailing, Post-it notes for the fourth mailing, and he's just got boxes of them after he determined which messages work. Okay, so he's a good student like you of marketing, and he understands testing and control, but before he went out and ordered all these things, he tested them with a smaller note. This worked really well, and he's off to the races, and he makes several $100,000 a year just from this marketing campaign in and around Rhode Island. But this is his Post-it note on the second mailing, branded Post-it note.
Thank you. And the last question, 90 days, should we get a result from it? How long we should test it?
Well, the results should be fairly quick, but you measure everything based on ROI.
Okay.
So let's suppose you spent $5,000 on this marketing system, okay, and you got one listing, and it paid you $20,000.
Yeah.
That means your marketing expense was 20%. Or 25%. One of them.
Thank you, sir.
So that's how you measure it. That's how you measure it. So don't measure it based on leads. Measure it based on ROI. Now, remember, Vic, at the Platinum Business Building Bootcamp that we did earlier this summer, I said, look, I don't think many of you know what a listing is really worth. Because if you really did, you would spend more money to get the listing so that you can leverage that listing to get more listings. The sign calls, the referrals, the testimonials, the buyers that have houses sell multiplied over and over again. So that's why it might be worth whoever's watching this webinar to invest a little bit more money into getting more listings, because when you get them, you're going to get actually business back for zero. Like, what's the sign call cost? All right, but anyway.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thanks, Vic.
Thank you.
Our next question comes in the form of chat from Sam. It says, if we are not allowed to market to expireds off MLS, how can we go around it without getting in trouble? Craig warned us.
Yep. I said that. That's what the editorial ad's for. In the coaching program, when people jump into the Quantum Leap system in our coaching program, Craig right away says, here's the editorial ad for expireds. Here's the editorial ad for sale by owners. Okay? If you can direct mail, you can do this. Another way to get around it is you just have to mail everyone, okay, or at least within reason, a good number of people, so it doesn't look like you're, or people can accuse you of using the, the MLS to mail specifically to someone. So you got to use your own judgment on those, but beyond that, that's how it's done. All right, one time for one more question.
Okay. Ellen raised her hand, and she has a lot of questions typed in the chat, so I'm going to go to her. Ellen Levy, your line is open.
Hi there. Can you hear me?
Hey, Ellen, doing great. How are you?
Good. Okay, so I have lots of questions. you mentioned two firms that scrub expired and expireds against MLS data, and I couldn't quite get the name of the second one. Would you spell it, please?
Vulcan, like Mr. Spock
Okay.
from the planet Vulcan, and 7.
Okay. I wasn't quite sure what I was hearing. I'm also thinking
Hey,
that...
hold on. You can also go to Google and you can just type in like expired listing information, things like that, and you'll see lots of websites that can deliver the information. Land Voice may do it as well. There are quite a few companies.
Great. Thank you. I am thinking that given this time of year, a lot of listings will expire at the end of December. 12/30, a lot of them are going to expire. I'm wondering whether it would be best to wait to launch a campaign of this sort until right after the first of the year.
You know what? I don't know. That's up to you. I would never tell you to wait to get business. It's not in my way of thinking about how to grow businesses. I don't think there's waiting. So you got to use your own judgment on how you want to go about investing your dollars and capital, and based on how much money you have to allocate and invest at any one given time. But I just don't wait. You know, if I want business, it's the day after Christmas. I'm marketing to get it.
Okay. If I don't have buyers in waiting in a database sort of for expireds and withdrawals, you're saying run the ads, and that's how we get them, and they're our database, and we just...
Yeah, you guys have buyers today. You know, you got buyers in your database. It may not be buyers that you have signed buyer agreements with, but you have leads and prospects and buyers and people that have contacted you.
Yes,
or that's been generated. Some of the members here have like Commissions Inc., for example, and they've got hundreds of prospects in there. That would be part of their buyers and buyer database. Success website. People that have gone to your success website.
How do we do a letter with all the squiggles and the handwritten notes?
Yeah, that's a program. There are lots of programs that you can use for doodles. Doodle Opus was probably one that Mark used. I don't know, but you can just go to Google and type in Doodle programs. They're mostly done with Publisher.
Okay. I had one other question. I have never marketed to expireds and FSBOs. I have no testimonials from such sellers to use. Since that's an important part of your 4-page thing, what should I do?
Well, just use the testimonials you do have. This is why you write testimonials for everybody that you do a testimonial for. All the testimonials you talking to everyone, you write, and it's a page long probably, and you write the backstory, everything that led up to them getting in touch with you, problems that they've had, issues, their perception of real estate agents, previous experiences and stories with other agents, or just the way they thought about them, how they reached you, how they found out about you, why did they do business with you, what happened when they were doing business with you, and the outcome, and what their recommendations are for others. Like you write, this is probably a page long. You give it to them, and they say yes, or hey, change this, or what about that, and then they sign off on it, and then you can use all of that or parts of it in your marketing. Okay, so, but use what testimonials you have to start with.
Okay, and I imagine you get the Dan Kennedy inserts from Dan Kennedy's site, which, is there a special name for it?
Yeah, right, it would be, hang on one second, it's right here. Dan Kennedy Material Library. Okay, right there.
Thank you very much.
Sorry, I wasn't showing you that. There it is right there. Dan Kennedy Material Library.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, great questions, and I think that'll probably answer most of them. And if you have any other questions, connect up with your coach, drill down on this thing, go back, watch this webinar again, and implement this system. It should have been done within the first 30 days of joining this program. So if you're a Platinum Program member, it's on the first 6 months checklist. I showed that to you, and it's at the end of the 30th or the 4th week. It's part of the checklist. So There you go. So I believe that if you do it, you'll get business, you'll make money, and we can test against it and improve, plus it along the way. But let's get started with it. So with that, let's go wrap up today's program. Great job. Thanks for tuning in, and now let's get to work. Oh, go sell big. Andrea, thanks a lot for all your hard work, and we'll talk to everybody very soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Todd. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Have a wonderful afternoon.